Tom and Jerry comment by TURKI ALASHIKH. A lot of people wanted me to speak about this. I wasn't going to talk about this at all because although people seem to be getting me now, I believe a lot of people still have a ways to go in truly understanding me. And sometimes it takes a level of maturity to understand what I'm saying so you can accept it, so you can know that it's truth. You know, so a lot of stuff I don't like to touch. And this is one of the things that I wasn't going to say nothing about. I was just going to sit back and let people do whatever. But since another people have asked me, I was like, all right, I'll talk about it. Now, usually with this situation, I have to entertain. Excuse me, I got the hiccups or something. Usually with this situation, what I do is I entertain both scenarios to cover all bases. Okay, so that means that I'm going to take it how you guys are taking it, or how you feel that he meant it. You know, he's taking a swipe at certain fighters or black fighters or something like that. Then I'm gonna flip the coin and entertain the other side that he might not have meant what you think he meant. Okay, so I'm gonna entertain both those scenarios. Okay, the first one I'm gonna start with, which is the one that I believe. I don't believe TURKI ALASHIKH was being any kind of way about it. Not at all. You know, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Because like all things, observation is key, right? Studying a person is key, right? Right? Studying TURKI ALASHIKH and the way he has moved and the things that he has said before, you automatically have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because TURKI ALASHIKH has said things that's not in favor of mainstream media. TURKI ALASHIKH said something that a lot of people was afraid to say, but secretly felt. Just like he said, I believe boxing was in a better place when the heavyweight champion was black. Do you know how many people wouldn't say that? Don't want you to say that, don't want to hear that, and don't want you to repeat that to the world? Okay, that right there was an unpopular thing to say amongst mainstream media, and I would say over 60% boxing fans. Obviously, TURKI don't care about how they feel. You know what I'm saying? So he's very aware of the color element. Okay? When America is always going back and forth about pound for pound, when we knew who's the best pound for pound fighter was for years, TURKI ALASHIKH came out and flat out and told you it's Terrence Crawford. I don't know how y'all do things in America, but it's obviously Terrence Crawford from over here. Once again, these are statements and opinions that are not favored in mainstream media. You know what I'm saying? Now, when TURKI ALASHIKH says that, oh, I don't want no Tom and Jerry matches and stuff like that, and everybody talking, you know, he's talking about Devin Haney and stuff like that. Well, Teofimo Lopez just got done saying that TURKI says Devin Haney is his man. You see, you got to study what goes on. You know what I'm saying? So if Devin Haney is his man, he's going to directly come out and just take a swipe at him. Studying TURKI and the way he has moved and the things that he has said thus far, I can't say that he would do that. Now, well, Bruce, okay, I hear you there. But if that's the case, what's with the Tom and Jerry thing? Like, he knows that black fighters are always accused of running and stuff. Like, why would he say that? I think, honestly, because TURKI ALASHIKH is a boxing fan. And he's saying, if I'm paying y'all all this money, which is some good money, I'm paying to see an entertaining fight, not to see you just etch by. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you why. If you've been on my channel long enough, I've been put this out in the air. And I said, fighters do not fight the same anymore. These fights are less entertaining. There is too much posturing in boxing and not enough initiation and back and forth. I told people, go watch an old school fight versus today. The old school fighters are way more engaging. The new school fighters is too much damn posturing. All right. It's too much time being wasted. You know what I'm saying? It's too much high guard, low guard, duck to the side, duck to the right. You know, it's just too much posturing before stuff pops off. I've been said this, that these guys are less engaging. And I believe Turkey's the same kind of fan that I am, and he sees that. If you don't believe me, please go watch an old fight. They both can be entertaining fights, both modern and old. What you're going to notice about those old fights is they engage way more. They're way more into the fight. You look at these new school guys, it's posturing, pausing, moving around the ring, freezing, waiting a minute, and stuff like that. I'm like, man, it's just too much posturing in boxing. Like, where's the exchange? Come on, like, exchange some shit. So in that case, if he's looking at it from that point of view, I totally agree with him. It's not enough engagement. I personally feel like that. You know? And when you paying the kind of money Turkey is paying, I'm right there with him. I ain't paying for no Tom and Jerry match. You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying you this kind of money to do that. And I think that's basically what he's saying. He said, look, I'm paying you guys good. If you want to keep me paying y'all good, which I'm doing, y'all bet not be giving me no Tom and Jerry matches. I want to be entertained. Totally understand. I totally understand that. Now, if you want to believe Turkey was being malice after that, I can't stop you. I can only tell you what I observe and what I know from life. You know, you can run with it however. So now let's entertain it. Turkey was being kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and entertain that. Let's say Turkey was swiping at Devin Haney and all those people. I don't think he was, but let's say that he was, right? Do you know whose fault that is at the end of the day? Do you? All those black athletes. Do you want to know why? Because these black athletes are way too easygoing when they get interviewed and grilled about certain things. They could easily come out and say, well, what about the famous scenario that the black fighter is supposed to always have a yellow streak and he can't be strategic, and anytime he be strategic, you know what I'm saying, or move like everybody else, he's called a coward. None of these black boxers call that out in real time in front of the camera. They know it, but they never say anything, meaning they allow space for their boxing performance and what they do inside of boxing to be trashed by not speaking up on how black fighters are interpreted and treated in boxing. They refuse to acknowledge or say how black boxers are really treated in boxing, even though they are a black boxer. It's their fault. They could easily get in front of Kelly, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, we don't know about all that running. Hold on, Sergio Mora. Pause that right there. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was Latino, let's be honest, it wouldn't be called no running. And then you can go ahead and give me examples. What about such and such from last week? Why don't we pull up that fight? Matter of fact, didn't you commentate that fight? Let's look up that fight. Oh, he's running like a motherfucker right there. Look, Sergio, I don't hear nothing from you. Matter of fact, you're saying how this is strategic. So how is this strategic on this day with this fighter, but it's running with me? Answer. But you see these black boxers get in front of the camera and shell the fuck up. Hold on, I'm not done yet. You want to know what else contributes to it? Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, just for an example, right? Let me tell you how they play the dumbass boxer, all right, with his dumbass. All right, let me tell you how they play it. They'll try to discredit Devin Haney, just like they did with Vasily Lomachenko, even though they beat him unanimously. You know what I'm saying? And to back up trashing Devin Haney, they will run to one of you black boxers who looks at Devin Haney as your opposition, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But they'll run to you to agree with the lie. And because you dislike that black boxer and you're jealous of him, you will agree with a stereotypical lie just to swipe at Devin Haney. Ask Shakur Stevenson about that. For once, you could say, Man, what do you think about Devin Haney and Lomachenko getting robbed? Hold on. Although I may not be the biggest Devin Haney fan, I am a fan of boxing, and that boy clearly won. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no robbery. It ain't no this. It ain't no that. You know what I'm saying? That boy won unanimously. Come on, get it together. But they know they can run to y'all to trash your own fucking fighters because you guys won't expose how you're really fucking treated. So it's your fault. So if Turkey was saying it like that, I have no sympathy for you and I don't care because you don't speak up for yourself. You don't say how you get treated in boxing. Okay? You don't mention that how the black boxer is always downplayed and how he can never do enough. You in front of the camera, educate the fans. But you don't want to do that. Instead, you play along with the same people who post the same stereotypical lies, and they use you as a scapegoat to let it fly because they know how much you hate somebody that looks like you. And you will agree with them just to spite your brother, even though that stereotypical lie will spring out on your ass in your very next fight, and y'all all do it to each other. I don't see why y'all could probably not necessarily like each other, but back each other up in the sport of boxing when it comes to you guys' performances. When are you going to understand when it comes to your performances, you guys are allies, not enemies. You're allies because you all are in the same boat and you're separated from everybody else. So you have to have each other's back. But instead, you choose to support the racists. Thoughts? Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Javante Tank Davis. This is what they do. You know, the Charlos have even done it. When are you going to back your brother up while understanding you don't necessarily got to like him and you can still fight him? To me, it's just that damn simple. So if they calling you out and all that Tom and Jerry and they talk about the black fighter, that's because the black fighters don't fucking speak up for their self-worth a fucking damn. So what? I don't care. May be harsh, it may be this, but I'm sick of watching you pussified athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen a clip, where was it at? Where was it? I don't know. But I seen Terrence Crawford. People was talking about running and talking about he's gonna run and stuff like that and blase speak. Of course it was a fucking Mexican or whatever and whatnot. And then Crawford gets up to explain what boxing was and all that other stuff. And I'm like, Crawford, you could save that shit right there and just say what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all be too nice with him. Just say what the fuck it is. Oh, you only want that stand and bang shit when the fighter is black. Because y'all want to suggest any position for us to lose, not to win. I'm just keeping it real with you. Can't no boxer say that? Not one of them can say it. So therefore, they create their own prison of criticism by not speaking up and being a coward in front of that camera. But overall, I don't believe Turki ALASHIKH was aiming at anybody in particular. I believe Turki ALASHIKH is a big fan, just like I am. And he said, I'm paying y'all good. And if I'm paying y'all good, I'm not paying y'all to watch you just etch out a fucking win. I'm paying y'all for something dynamic. It's setting the tone for his expectations of doing business with you. And like I said, he's a fan. And I agree with that. So whether you want to take it like this or whether you want to take it like that, I just explained both scenarios. Me personally, don't think Turkey was doing that. But if you think Turkey was doing that, it's black boxers' fault. Because let's face it, they're cowards. I like them too, but they're cowards. Let's just be honest. They are straight cowards. They can't speak up for themselves to save themselves for nothing. And they'll throw their brother under the bus in a heartbeat. And they know that. And the media pimps them just like they pimp the Mexicans. They know their weakness. You hate your own. They know that they weakness. You hate black people. It's just that simple. It's ugly, but true. I'm out.